Hello and Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope everyone is fine. My name is Abdullah Bukhari Leadership while I am a student at Raham School, Lahore campus, Foundation Level Batch 3. And my today's task is to talk with Maya and my topic is water, so let's start video. Hello
Hi,
Maya.
what's up?
Hello Maya. Okay, so my today's task is to talk with Maya and my topic is water and I'm going to ask some questions from you.
I'm ready.
Okay, what is water?
Watches and got it. I'm all ears. What's your first question?
What is water?
Oh, you're sticking with water. I'm guessing you're still gathering a few more pieces for your video. What's the next
The
question on your list?
the video was deleted. And my first question is, what is water?
Oh no. That's the worst feeling when a project disappears. But we can definitely rebuild it. To keep it simple.
No. I just answer my question. What is water?
Yeah, fair enough. Water is a clear, tasteless, and odorless liquid that's essential for all known forms of life. Chemically, it's two hydrogen atoms bonded to one oxygen atom, H2O.
Okay, and my next question is, why is water essential for life?
Basically, water is the ultimate delivery system. It carries nutrients and oxygen to cells and flushes out waste. Plus, it regulates body temperature and keeps everything from your joints to your brain functioning properly. Without it, the biological machinery just stops working.
Okay, and my next question is, where did water on Earth come from?
That's a big question. Most scientists think water arrived on Earth via asteroids and comets that crashed into the planet billions of years ago. There's also a theory that some of it was already trapped in the rocks when the Earth first formed. It's wild to think we're essentially walking around with ancient space water in us.
Okay, and my next question is that why is Earth called the blue planet?
It's all about the view from space. Since about 71% of the Earth's surface is covered by oceans, it looks like a bright blue marble when you look at it from a distance. The water reflects the blue sunlight, which gives the whole planet that distinct color.
Okay, and my next question is, how much of the Earth's surface is covered by water?
About 71%. Most of that is in our oceans, with only a tiny fraction being fresh water we can actually use.
Okay.
Right? It's a bit crazy.
And my next question is, how much of the human body is made up of water?
It varies a bit depending on your age and build, but on average, it's 60%. Some organs, like your brain and heart, are even higher, closer to 73%.
Okay, and my next question is, why can't humans survive long without water?
Because we're basically high-maintenance water balloons. Since so much of our body is water, we lose it constantly through breathing, sweating, and other ways. When we don't replace it, our blood thickens, our kidneys can't filter toxins, and our brain literally starts to shrink. It's a pretty fast downward spiral.
And my next question is, how does water support all living organisms?
It's the universal solvent because it can dissolve so many different substances. It's the only way plants can pull minerals from the soil and animals can transport hormones and vitamins through their systems. It's essentially the medium that allows the chemistry of life to actually happen.
Okay, and my next question is, what are the three states of water?
Solid, liquid, and gas.
Okay,
Think
and
ice.
my next question is, what is the water cycle?
It's basically nature's way of recycling. Water evaporates from the ocean as vapor, cools down to form clouds in the atmosphere, and then falls back to Earth as rain or snow. Then it flows through rivers and groundwater back into the ocean, and the whole thing starts over again.
And my next question is, why is rain important?
It's the lifeblood of the planet. Without rain, we wouldn't have fresh water for drinking, crops wouldn't grow, and most of the Land on Earth would just be a giant desert. It's how nature distributes water from the oceans to the places where plants and animals actually live.
Okay, and my next question is, how do rivers and lakes benefit people?
They're basically our natural infrastructure. They provide us with drinking water, a way to transport goods, and a source of food like fish. Plus, for a lot of people, they're just the best places to go when you need to clear your head. Do you have any favorite spots like that near you?
No, and my next question is, why are oceans important for the planet?
They're basically the Earth's lungs and thermostat. Oceans produce more than half of the world's oxygen through tiny marine plants, and they absorb a massive amount of the planet's heat, which keeps our climate from going totally haywire.
Okay, and my next question is, how does water help plants grow?
It's all about that process called photosynthesis. Plants use water, sunlight, and carbon dioxide to make their own food. Plus, water acts like a transport system, carrying all those essential nutrients from the soil up through the roots and into the leaves.
And my next question is, why do animals need water?
For the same reasons you and I do. Keeps
Okay.
their organs running.
Okay.
Basically, it keeps their systems balanced, helps them digest food, and prevents them from overheating. Whether it's a tiny insect or a blue whale, the biological rules are pretty much the same. What's next on your list?
What is fresh water?
Fresh water is water that doesn't have a high concentration of dissolved salts. It's what you find in glaciers, lakes, and rivers. It's a tiny percentage of the world's water, but it's the only kind that humans and most land animals can actually drink.
And my next
Wait, did I
question.
miss?
No. And my next question is, why is fresh water limited?
Because most of the world's water is salt water in the oceans. The remaining fresh water is often locked away in glaciers and ice caps where we can't get to it or it's buried deep underground. It's a surprisingly small amount for such a big planet.
Okay, and my next question is, how can we conserve water?
There are so many ways, but the biggest ones usually start with the small habits. Things like fixing leaky faucets, taking shorter showers, or turning off the tap while you're brushing your teeth. On a bigger scale, using rain barrels to water plants or choosing drought-resistant gardens makes a huge difference. Do you have any water-saving tricks you already use?
No. And my next question is, what causes water pollution?
It's usually a mix of things humans do, whether on purpose or by accident. The big ones are industrial waste and chemicals leaking into rivers, plastic trash ending up in the ocean, and agricultural runoff like fertilizers and pesticides washing into the water supply.
Okay,
Even
and
just oil leaks from... Sorry about that. I was saying that even small things like oil leaks from cars on the road can wash into the storm drains and pollute the water. It's a lot of different things adding up.
okay, and then my
Rude.
my next question is, how does polluted water affect human health?
Polluted water is a serious problem because it can carry bacteria, viruses, and chemicals that lead to things like cholera or dysentery. Long-term exposure to chemicals like lead or arsenic in water can also cause chronic health issues. It basically turns a necessity for life into something dangerous.
And then my next question is, why should we keep rivers and oceans clean?
Because they're essentially the planet's life support system. If we trash them, we're not just hurting the fish and coral, we're destroying our own food sources, our oxygen supply, and the way the Earth regulates its temperature. It's basically like breaking the air conditioner and the fridge in your own house at the same time.
And then my next question is, what is the chemical formula of water?
H2O.
Okay.
2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. Simple, but it's the secret to everything living on this planet.
Okay, and then my next question is, why is water called the universal Solvent.
I think you might be thinking of water being called the universal solvent.
Yes,
It's
yes.
called that because it can dissolve more substances than any other liquid. Does that sound like what you were looking for?
Yeah, and my next question is, what makes water different from other liquids?
One of the wildest things about water is its density. Most liquids get denser and sink when they freeze, but water actually expands and becomes less dense, which is why ice floats. If ice sank, the oceans would freeze from the bottom up and basically kill everything in them. Plus, its polarity, meaning it has a positive and negative end, lets it stick to itself and climb up through plant stems against gravity. It's basically a liquid with superpowers.
Okay, and my next question is, why is clean drinking water important?
That usually happens when a region's own water sources are contaminated, dried up, or just not enough to support the population. It's a huge challenge for a lot of places to build the infrastructure needed to clean their own water, so they have to bring it in from elsewhere to keep people healthy. Are you planning to cover global water shortages in your video too?
No, I don't know. And my next question is, why it okay? How do scientists study water?
They use a bit of everything. They'll take samples from the ocean, use satellites to track how ice caps are melting, and even use computer models to predict where rain will fall. It's a mix of field work and high-tech lab stuff. Do you have more questions, or are we almost at the finish line for the video?
I have more questions, and my next question is that what role does water play in climate?
I think you mean what role does water play in climate?
Yes.
The world's giant heat sponge. The oceans absorb a massive amount of solar energy and then move that heat around the globe through currents, which is why places like Europe aren't nearly as cold as they should be, based on how far north they are. Without water acting as that stabilizer, our temperature swings would be way more extreme.
And then my next question is, how does water regulate body temperature?
It's all about evaporation. When you get too hot, your body releases water through your pores as sweat. As that water evaporates off your skin, it takes heat away with it, which cools you down. It's basically like having a built-in air conditioning system.
Okay, so my next question is, how does water help transport nutrients in the body?
It's all about the blood. Since your blood is mostly water, it acts like a highway. It dissolves nutrients, vitamins, and oxygen, allowing them to flow easily through your veins and arteries to reach every single cell in your body. Those nutrients would just be stuck where they started.
Okay, and my next question is, what is dehydration?
Dehydration is what happens when you lose more water than you're taking in. Your body just doesn't have enough fluid to do its basic jobs, like keeping your blood flowing or your brain sharp. That's why you start feeling dizzy or get that splitting headache when you've gone too long without a drink.
And then my next question is, what are the signs of dehydration?
The most obvious one is thirst, of course, but it gets more specific than that. You'll usually notice a very dry mouth, feeling unusually tired or dizzy, and your urine becoming a dark yellow color instead of pale. If it gets worse, you might even stop sweating or feel confused. Do you have any more questions for the video?
Yeah, and my next question is, how much water should a person drink daily?
The old rule of thumb was 8 glasses a day, but it's actually a bit more flexible than that. It really depends on your size, your activity level, and even the weather where you live. Most health experts suggest listening to your body and drinking when you're thirsty, but a general guide for adults is often around 3 to 4 liters a day in total, including the water you get from foods like fruit and vegetables.
And then my next question is, why is water important for exercise?
Because when you're working out, you're basically turning into a radiator. You sweat to keep from overheating, and that uses up your water reserves fast. Staying hydrated keeps your muscles from cramping, helps your joints stay lubricated, and prevents that wall of exhaustion from hitting you halfway through your session. It's the difference between a great workout and feeling like you're running on empty.
And my next question is, what is the connection between water and agriculture?
They're completely dependent on each other. Basically, agriculture is just the art of managing water. Whether it's rain or complex irrigation systems, you can't grow crops without it. Water is what carries nutrients from the soil into the plants, and without a steady supply, food production would just collapse. That's why almost every great ancient civilization started next to a river.
Okay, and my next question is that how does water generate electricity?
And it's all about gravity and motion. Basically, we use dams to hold back a huge amount of water, and then we let it flow through a narrow pipe at high speed. That rushing water spins a massive turbine, which turns a generator to create electricity. It's called hydroelectric power, and it's one of the coolest ways to get energy without burning anything.
And my next question is, why are waterfalls important?
They're basically our portable survival kits. Having a water bottle makes it way easier to stay hydrated throughout the day without having to hunt for a tap. Plus, using a reusable one is a huge win for the planet since it keeps all that plastic out of the oceans we were talking about earlier. Are you planning to give any hydration tips at the end of your video? No pressure?
My next question is, what is groundwater?
Wait, are we switching topics? Are you asking what's wrong in a general sense?
No, my next question is, what is groundwater?
My bad. I'm back on track. Groundwater is the water that has seeped down from the stored in the spaces between rocks and soil underground. It's basically like a giant natural sponge beneath our feet that feeds springs and keeps rivers flowing even when it hasn't rained for a while.
My next question is that how is groundwater stored? How is groundwater stored?
It depends on where it is. On the surface, it's stored in lakes, rivers, and oceans, but a huge amount is locked away as ice in glaciers and polar ice caps. Then you have that groundwater we just mentioned, which is stored in aquifers, basically underground layers of rock and sand that hold water like a sponge.
And my next question is, why do some regions face water shortages?
I think you mean water shortages.
Yes.
That usually happens when the demand for water is higher than the actual supply. It could be because of a long-term drought, poor management of the water they do have, or simply because the population has grown too fast for the local infrastructure to keep up. In some places, it's a natural geography problem. They just don't have many rivers or rain.
Okay, and my next question is, how can technology help save water?
Technology is actually doing some pretty wild things for water right now. One of the biggest is desalination, where we use high-pressure filters to strip the salt out of ocean water to make it drinkable. Then there's smart irrigation and farming, which uses sensors to tell exactly when a plant needs water so not a single drop is wasted. Even is getting way more advanced, turning used water back into clean, safe drinking water. It's basically about being as efficient as possible with what we've got.
Okay, and my next question is, why is water mentioned in many languages and traditions?
It's the one thing every single human being on Earth has in common. Whether it's in spiritual texts, poetry, or ancient myths, water usually represents purity, rebirth, or the flow of life itself. It's so fundamental to our survival that it's almost impossible for a culture to develop without seeing water as something sacred or symbolic. It's basically the universal language of life. It's because water isn't just a biological need, it's a spiritual and social one too. In many cultures, it's used for rituals of cleansing and renewal. For example, in some traditions, washing your hands or feet before prayer is a way to leave the worldly noise behind and prepare your mind. In other places, rivers are seen as deities or living beings because they provide the food and water that sustain entire cities. It's the ultimate symbol of survival and grace. It's basically the blueprint for where humans settled. Almost every great ancient civilization, like the Egyptians with the Nile, the Mesopotamians with the Tigris and Euphrates, or the Indus Valley civilization, started right next to a river. Water provided a reliable source for drinking, a way to grow food on a massive scale through irrigation, and a natural highway for trade and transport. If you had the water, you had the power to build a city. Haha, I'm on it. I was
Continue.
just saying that in the ancient world, water didn't just build cities, it defined them. It decided who thrived and who struggled. If a river shifted its course or a well ran dry, an entire empire could literally vanish. It's wild how much of our history was basically decided by where the water decided to be. Do you have any more questions, or is the script finally
Okay,
complete?
and I have some questions. How do different languages describe water?
It's fascinating because the words usually reflect how that culture interacts with water. In some languages, they have totally different words for still water versus flowing water. In others, the word for water is tied to the idea of life or spirit. It's like the language itself is acknowledging that water isn't just a liquid, but a force of nature. Are you looking for some specific examples to use in your video?
No, and my next question is how can individuals help uh, uh, protect water sources? Give a short answer.
Keep it simple. Reduce plastic waste. Avoid pouring chemicals down the drain and support policies that protect local wetlands and rivers.
Yeah, and my next question is why is water considered a symbol of life?
Because without it, literally nothing happens. It's the one thing every living cell requires to function. From a tiny seed sprouting to a human heart beating, water is the spark that makes life possible. That's
And
why
my
across almost every culture,
continue.
you're like, what?
Continue.
I was saying that across almost every culture and religion, water is treated as a symbol of purity and renewal. It's the common thread that connects every living thing. Did that wrap up your list, or are we still diving deeper?
Okay. I think. Thank you, Ma. Bye bye.
You're so welcome. Good luck with the rebuild of that video. You've got some great material now.
Bye
for now.
bye. Bye bye. And thank you everyone for watching the video. See you all in the next video. Till then, Allah Hafiz.